Hello, Reliving the Extreme listeners. Do you enjoy this podcast? Well, obviously you do because you're listening. If you enjoy this podcast and you shop on Amazon, why not wrap that all into one and give our podcast a little bit of support? All you have to do is when you want to shop on Amazon, instead of going to Amazon.com, go to www.tinyurl.com/extreme Amazon. By going there to do your Amazon shopping, you don't spend anything extra, and what it does is it throws a little commission our way here just to support the podcast. So, like I said, if you like to shop on Amazon and you are a fan of this podcast and want to throw us some support, we appreciate it. That is www.tinyurl.com/extreme Amazon. Now, let's relive the extreme. This week on Reliving the Extreme, we start a hiatus from doing our reviews. For a couple of weeks here, we're not going to be doing our show reviews. There are some things going on behind the scenes, personal life things going on with the hosts that we are taking a little hiatus from doing show reviews, but I will have content for you for the next couple of weeks. Next week, I'm going to give you some before and after the show audio, some outtakes from recording episodes of Reliving the Extreme that are going to be, I think, hilarious. But I'm going to edit those, take some certain things out of them. But that being said, hey, I don't even think I said my name, but you might know it already. I'm Nate Maxon, and this week on Reliving the Extreme, I'm going to use some audio from our other podcast, the We Can't Wrestle Podcast. Once in a while, we do an episode of the show where we don't really have a set topic or anything like that, and we just kind of, you ever sit around with your buddies and drink, talk wrestling? That's what we do. And a couple of weeks ago, Chad Austin made an appearance on the We Can't Wrestle Podcast on one of those episodes. And during that show, Aron decided he was going to ask Chad and I just some random questions about pro wrestling. And we answered those questions drunkenly. Fun ensued. And it's about an hour of just us being us. So that's what I'm going to present to you this week on Reliving the Extreme. It's from the We Can't Wrestle Podcast, episode 132. If you have not checked out the We Can't Wrestle Podcast, please do so. Me, Chad, and Aron asking us some random wrestling questions. And let's let the fun ensue here on the special edition of Reliving the Extreme. Aron, you said you had some questions for us.
I do have some questions.
Well, ask them then.
Well, I'm going to ask them. And you guys, I feel we're cool enough to ask these questions. I'm going to ask this question. Who would you guys say, and it's no judgment, who is like the sexiest female ever in wrestling?
Ever where?
Like the sexiest female in professional wrestling history. Like not her talent, not her whatever, just the hottest ever in wrestling.
Stacy Keibler. She's the hottest person I've ever seen in person.
Who was it?
Stacy Keibler.
I'm
telling you.
Now, I'm
not telling you to pick her, but I'm telling you, when I saw her in person, I said, "Oh my God, I don't believe this." And then I went to a buddy's house that night, and it was in an affluent neighborhood, and he goes, "Hey, my family's friends with Stacy Keibler. Do you want me to call her?" And I just said, "What do you mean? Do you want me to call her?" Of course I do. Call her. I'm half hammered, man. Come on. Get her on the phone. Let's do a kegger with Stacy Keibler.
What year was she's from your area? Is she a Baltimore girl?
Yeah, she's from here.
Yeah.
So he called her and he goes, "My friend wants to talk to you." And I was like, "Hey, Stacy, yeah." So what do you think about me and you? Getting some beers and shit. It didn't work out so well. It didn't work out.
I'm not a worse jobber than David Flair. Come on.
Yeah, right. I mean, I thought I had a shot. Like you were a David Flair, stupid.
Nate, what's your answer?
All right, so what are the other questions?
Well, I need to hear Nate's answer.
And we still got to get Aaron's, too.
Well, I'll tell you mine, but I want to hear yours, Nate.
Mine's Tammy. Not Tammy now.
Oh, boy.
But Tammy then? Like Smoky Mountain Tammy?
Tammy from like 94 to 97.
92 to 94.
God damn.
Yeah. Mine's Tori Wilson.
I will say this. I don't want to cut you off, Aaron, but I will say this. Chad has a great point with Stacy. Oof. What year was that, Chad?
I don't know, 2007, 6, somewhere around that area.
The pre-Clooney years.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely before all that. Whenever she supposedly blew up.
But yeah, you're definitely right with Stacy. But like I said, for me, I don't know, and it may be because I was a teenager at the time, and that is what it is. But Tammy, man, when she was fine, she was at her finest. God damn,
dude, Tammy was Missy Hyatt in 1996 when Missy Hyatt was Missy Hyatt in 1986.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody was hotter than Missy Hyatt in Continental in 86 when when Gilbert booked that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But my baddest chick is Tori Wilson. I just think Tori Wilson is just.
I thought Aaron was going to say Jazz.
No,
that's my
I thought he was going to say Awesome Kong, but
no. Why would you guys think that I like dominant black broads?
I didn't want to kill him.
Fuck. Why do you guys think I want to be smothered? I don't want to be smothered.
The name of this show is going to be "Don't Listen If You're Easily Offended."
No, it's Tori Wilson. I think she was a smoke show.
I thought Tori Wilson was also phenomenal. And every time, what's his name, Brian Kidman came out, and like every time he came out, I just like, there's no way.
Yeah, how did this geek pull down fucking Tori Wilson?
Yeah, what does he have? A foot long, a 12-foot long tongue, or what?
Something. Like, there's no way this guy. He must have film. like evidence that she did something. There's no way that this guy's with this girl.
This fucking geek got this broad. It's fucking ridiculous.
Like I knew Billy before he went to the whatever it was, WCW. I knew him before that. And he wasn't with her. Because if he was, then I clearly would have tried to take her from him. But, he was just that fledgling guy. And he went to the Alpha and Sika school.
Mm-hmm.
What a talent he was, man. I remember seeing him at a show. Like, I did a ring rental, and I just was like, oh, my God, this guy is fucking good, man. Like, look at him go. Whatever, but yeah, he overachieved with that broad.
Yeah, if Billy never did anything in his entire career, which he did, Billy had a good career, but if he never did anything else,
he fucking Tori Wilson.
Fucking Tori Wilson. That should be his fucking claim to fame.
Of course it should be. I fucked Tori Wilson.
Yeah, it's like Yeah, I worked Starrcade, and yeah, I wrestled Chris Benoit. Yeah. I wrestled Rey Mysterio, but I also just if that doesn't impress you enough, I watched Tori Wilson.
I did. I threw out a Von Erich. I mean, at Starrcade, I worked a Von Erich. I mean, do you remember a guy named Dusty?
Yeah. Ric Flair could be like, "Hey, I won 24 world titles," and then Billy King would be like, "Well, I fucked Corey Wilson," and Ric Flair would be like, "Touché, sir. Good for you."
There you go.
You're the greatest of all time, baby.
Yeah.
I fucked Tori Wilson.
Yeah. I should be super kicking you at WrestleMania 24.
Hey,
you fucking
you know who I could have
Cox
fucked?
Smith.
I'll tell you who I could have fucked. Who's the broad from TNA? Tracy
Brooks?
Yes, Tracy Brooks.
She's stacked.
I could have banged that broad. And the only reason why I didn't, because I was already in a relationship.
And Frankie Kazarian wanted to watch.
What's that?
Isn't she with Frankie Kazarian?
I don't fucking know. I have no idea. Like, I don't know. I was at a show that Dusty...
I love this show.
I was at a show that Dusty was on.
Mm-hmm.
And she was there, and the whole entire time I was standing in the hallway, Dusty no-showed. And she was hitting on me and shit. And I was like, dude, I have a girlfriend and everything. And she was like hitting on me. And I was like, dude, I could bang this broad. And I'm like, who are you? Like, what do you like? Who do you work for?
Was this pre-TV for her?
No, it was like 2007, 2000. I don't know. Like, I mean, you tell me. Was it? I mean, where were they at in their?
Tracy Brooks wasn't. Tracy Brooks is that Miss Tessmacher? Is that the same?
No, that's not. That's
no.
not
I don't know.
Miss Tessmacher was. Oh, she's a fine chick too. She was one of the ECW girls.
All I know was I just told her, I was like, dude, I've been with the same girl for like 15 years. It ain't gonna happen. Like, I mean, unless. Like, do you have any Japanese deals?
Unless.
Yeah. You got any Japanese deals?
Yeah, I mean, have you met Inoki yet? Come on. I mean, let's open this up, bro.
I think Baba died in '99.
Well, that was my gate.
Are you trying to see my giant Baba?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Do you have my gateway to the dream or whatever the fucking tournament's called?
The gateway to the dream? That sounds like something Nick Gage is just waiting to get involved in.
All right, you guys want my next question?
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Let's do it.
All right. They asked about favorite pay-per-view. I'm going to ask this question. What do you guys think is the worst WrestleMania ever?
All of them?
29. 29 is the worst because, and Aron knows because he is also involved in retail and corporate America. WrestleMania 29 felt like you were going to a WWE like corporate convention. Does that make sense? Like, it was so sanitized and everything was about the charities and blah blah blah, and it was
What was
boring.
the main event?
Rock and Cena, and it was boring. It was a boring WrestleMania. There was the Triple H. It was the Triple H Lesnar match. The only good thing on 29 was that Punk and Taker. That was probably the only thing on, because that was the one where Jericho jobbed to Dancing Guy.
Fandango.
Mm-hmm. That's probably my least favorite WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't remember that one, but God.
I don't think any of the WrestleManias are any good, honestly. So you could really just throw them all out there. I mean, I mean, to me, it's not. I'm not that guy, or I'm expecting the big show, or I want the big show kind of payoff thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give me something good.
Right.
Give me something that's, building up to the payoff.
Which I think is another reason why I love that Spring Stampede. I do love that Spring Stampede, Aaron, but Canadian Stampede. That Canadian Stampede pay-per-view, to me, it was like, it was just a good pro wrestling show, pay-per-view or not. I thought it was a great, and I don't want to harken back to it. I don't want to harp on it, but
well, good. If it's good, then go and do it. Like, why would you not want to talk about it? Why would you want to talk about something that's shitty?
True. Touche.
Well, we do that every week on the ECW Reliving the Extreme podcast.
Well, we ain't doing that now. Good God.
But to me,
they can only show up so often.
But to me, the worst WrestleMania is WrestleMania 11.
You got LT and Bam Bam. See, Shawn and Diesel have a good match at that show, but yeah, you're right. It's a shitty show.
They open the fucking show with the Blue Twins versus Lex Luger and the British Bulldog.
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't you?
And then they end it with LT versus Bam Bam Bigelow. And then in the middle of it, it's The Undertaker versus King Kong Bundy. Fucking trash. That's the worst goddamn WrestleMania.
There's another show.
No.
There's
Not
a show
the worst WrestleMania.
There's a show.
Best card right there.
There's a show I'm doing with a guy named David Gold on WrestleNet Radio, and our next episode, we're actually going to do where each of us rebook a WrestleMania, and he chose WrestleMania 9, and I chose WrestleMania 11. And in the text message I sent him was, I'm redoing WrestleMania 11, and I promise you, Undertaker is not getting saddled with Bundy. That was my quote to him. Like, that's not happening.
Why? What's your problem with Bundy?
In 1994 or 5? Oof,
yeah.
oof.
What's your problem with Bundy?
Like, Bundy's great in world class.
It's probably his diabetes.
Bundy is great in world class. After that, I check out on Bundy. I like Bundy in world class, though.
No, Bundy wasn't bad. In like
he's like Samson. Once they shaved his hair.
Well, Bundy, Bundy was a good opponent for like Hogan.
I guess
like that worked, but
I would have much rather seen Hogan and Orndorff at WrestleMania 2, though.
Bundy 95 is terrible.
You guys are breaking my heart.
Like Bundy 95 sounds like a fucking Rob Zombie song, by the way.
Shut up, Aaron.
Okay.
I was talking, man. Pipe it down over there, minimum wage.
All right.
That's Aaron's new name. I'm here with my co-host, Chad Austin, and Minimum Wage.
I make $59 a year. I'm okay.
Like, I was friends with Bundy. Like, I was really good.
And look where that got him.
What's that?
He said, look where that got him.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Was he like? I know he did. I never saw Chad. I never saw any of the stand-up stuff that he was. He funny?
Yeah, he was great. Like, he was beyond, like, he was really, really, really good at stand-up. And I don't know whether he was doing that shit, like, on his own, like, when he wasn't working, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday kind of stuff. Because I worked him, when I was with Bundy, I worked him, like, I don't know, 3 days a week for, like, 4 weeks. Like the same shows, the same shit. And he was like, "Oh, I got to be in Jersey and do my comedy shit." But yeah, I like Bundy, but not as much as Aron did.
I like Kid Kong Bundy. I just didn't like Bundy 95. Just saying.
Oh, did I tell you about how he broke my futon?
No.
I didn't tell you about that. Oh, I was wrestling that fat fuck. Somewhere like I don't know, maybe not quite like 200 miles, but somewhere around 130 miles away from my house. And I told him, I was like, "Hey, man, I'm getting ready to go home because I'm getting the Holyfield fight." And he says, "Do you care if I come by and I I watch it?" And I'm like, "Well, it's King Kong Bundy." Like, what am I gonna say? No? And I said, "Hey, listen, man, I gotta be honest. I left my door unlocked. There's gonna be like 5 or 6 people there, that are kind of marks. You care?" And he was like, "No, I don't really give a shit." So we get to my house, and I just got Aron, I just got a brand new futon, brand new, like taking it out of the box, like putting it together, setting it up, making it look good, presentable. You know what I mean? All right, here we go.
We put the finest blankets on this motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. and Bundy comes over and he walks in.
It's like one of those Indian blankets that look like with like the mosaic design, and they got like the tassels hanging off of them. It looks really good.
That's right.
I'm trying to set the scene.
That's exactly how it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bundy's like, "This shit look comfy."
I can't believe you weren't there.
Set my alarm. I might have to set my alarm. I might have to set my alarm for a 5 count.
It's a good thing it wasn't iPhones. Because you were taking a picture of yourself there with Bundy. While he's taking a picture of my shitty fucking carpet. So where were we?
You had just
Bundy's about to shit on your futon.
Oh yeah, before Aron interrupted us. And I said, "Hey, I'm gonna go home and watch the fucking like Holyfield fight or whatever." And Bundy says, "Hey, do you care if I come home and watch it at your house?" I said, "Are you going home to Miko's? Like, are you stopping at my house to go home to Jersey?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, no problem, dude. Because I'm only 2.5 hours, right? From Jersey." So I was like, "No problem." So he comes over, and I said, "I just want you to know I got a house full of jobbers. Like, they're marks. They're going to fucking pop their shit out when the King Kong Bundy walks in the fucking house. like, for real. They're going to like, what the fuck is this?" And he walks in the house, and he goes to sit down, and when he sits down, he went right through the fucking sofa. Like, he went right through it. And then the worst part was he couldn't get himself out of it. Like, it took like 4 or 5 of us.
And we did you name that futon afterwards Hogan Politics?
There really wasn't a whole lot you could name that futon after, because that futon was pretty much
done, son.
Yes. It was like yes. Like whatever he did to that futon, it pretty much destroyed the whole goddamn entire thing. And I even the last time I saw him, I was like, dude, you owe me like $400. And he was like, for what? And I said, for my futon. He goes, well, you buy shitty furniture. I said, well, you go to buffets. Like, too much. Like, kind of thing. Like, and me and him kind of had it out. Like, me and him, I swear to God, dude, he's dead now. But I swear to God, me and Bundy, we had a chemistry that you probably it's crazy. It's kind of like you and Aron. You know what I mean?
Bust them balls.
Yeah. I mean, well, you can say whatever you want to say, and Aron would know that you really don't mean that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And me and Bundy had that. We had that chemistry because we had worked so many times and been around the horn for so long. But yeah, right. he broke my futon.
It's funny how the people you love and respect so much
are the fucking most ridiculous human beings.
Well, not just that, but the people you love and respect so much are the ones you can just bust the fuck out of, and it doesn't matter. Yeah. You know, it's like, I know he's just joking. I know he's just fucking around.
What, King Kong Bundy can just break my furniture and just get away with it? Like I was going to expect him to send my grandmom at my house where I was living at.
Well, I just picture you going, you broke my futon. He's like, yeah, but I wrestled Taker at WrestleMania 11.
Yeah. It's $139.
He's a We Can't Wrestle Podcast Hall of Famer. What are you talking about?
He's like, respect, bitch.
It's $139 for a futon.
Maybe you should have made your fucking futon out of balsa wood, bitch.
I didn't know I made my futon out of balsa wood. Mr. Bundy.
Senior Bundy?
I didn't know that.
Didn't you know I was on Married with Children?
I just found that on DVD.
It's a great show. It's a great fucking show.
What, Married with Children or the one?
Oh yeah, both of them. But Married with Children and with Bundy. You can never do that show today, though.
Psycho Dad.
My favorite.
I think you can.
Think so? I don't know. Like, I think it would get canceled.
I think you have to de-sterilize people to re-sterilize people. You got to strip them down, boom, to
and
the
then
bare
minimum. Give them something shocking. Yeah, I mean that's true though.
I don't know. I mean, because my kids,
my favorite
kids don't give a fuck.
My favorite thing on Married with Children. I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite thing, but it's the one that sticks out the most in my mind. Is Al and Peg are sitting on the fucking couch, and she's just yammering on and on and on, and he turns with that clicker, and with no words spoken, he just starts clicking the off button, and it's not working. But anyway, right. Aron, did you have other questions?
Yeah, I have 4 more.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're going to be here all night.
But we don't have to do them all. But what would you guys say, wrestling-wise, would be your biggest, disappointment like an angle, like
it's
oh, this
already happened or it hasn't happened.
Already happened. Like you thought, oh, this is going to be great, and this is a fucking disappointment. And I'll say mine. That way you guys can talk about yours. I'll say mine. Mine was when Vince bought WCW. I thought that was a big, huge fucking disappointment.
You're not wrong.
I know. That's why I said
it. It's his opinion. So, no, he's not wrong. That's fine. Nate, what do you say? I mean, I want to hear what you say before I give you my opinion.
Well, Nate walked away for a minute.
I have two, honestly.
All right, let's hear them.
Well, Black Saturday.
Oh, when Vince bought Georgia?
Yeah. Like, that to me is always going to be like, when I go to my grave, I'm going to kick that fucking last shovel of dirt on that gravestone going, you motherfucker. You got rid of Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
And then it's that, or it's probably just WCW.
Yeah, I know people give like WCW a hard time because they did stupid shit, and I know they did stupid shit and everything, but WCW as a whole was fantastic because they did what Vince wouldn't do and acknowledge like other styles of wrestling and other promotions, and like they'd bring Japanese people in, and like to me WCW gets a bad rap, and yeah, they had bad angles and it was mismanaged and everything, but they fucking acknowledged other promotions.
Yeah, well, they had above average Mike Anderson.
But it's like Chad said too, like the Black Saturday thing, like
yeah, we're giving you something new. Here's a bunch of canned shit from all over the country.
Yeah, you're giving us something new. It's Jimmy Snuka against Iron Mike Sharp from the Maple Leaf Gardens.
And I have to admit, because we're doing this show live, or we're doing the show with no edits and whatever, so I sound like a shitty host, but was that Chad's biggest disappointment was Black Saturday?
Yeah.
So here's my biggest disappointment. And this is as a guy that was born in 1978.
Doozy.
I became a child fan in 1983. Because at 5 years old, my first introduction to wrestling. But no, my biggest disappointment. No, seriously, my biggest disappointment ever is literally AEW. Here's why. Because the Monday Night Wars and the Monday Night I'm drunk. The Monday Night Wars ended in 2001. Yeah, shut your face.
Hang on, Nate. Hang on.
Oh, go ahead, Chad.
Are you really trying to do this now on this show?
Yes.
I mean, you really are.
Mm-hmm. AEW is a fucking
because I mean, my battery is full. I got plenty of time.
I've changed.
Tell me how you think AEW is so great.
No. It's the worst disappointment ever because I have two kids and I've changed plenty of dirty diapers in my life. AEW is a dirty diaper because that fucking shit. It stinks. They said after 20 years, wrestling fans, after 20 years, we're going to give you real athletic professional wrestling. We're going to give you something different. And then they gave me Rusev and a fucking arcade machine. Fuck you, Tony Khan. It's garbage.
Well, that was
like
last week. Did you not watch the next week?
I can't bear to do it.
Dude,
like that promotion.
How did anybody not?
That promotion fucking sucks. That promotion fucking sucks.
Well, hold on. Let me ask this: how did anybody not know that it wasn't going to be? How did anybody not know it was going to be bad when, for one, the people's names are Khan?
That's enough.
They've conned you. And two, the dad has like a mustache, like an old time train robber. He's gonna rob you.
Lay down on the tracks.
Looks like Snadley, or what's the fucking dude?
No, I know. But hold on, I know. There's a lot of fucking.
I'm not sure I'm gonna be part of this podcast anymore.
I know. No, I mean I know. There is a lot of wrestling garbage in the history.
He looks like Snadley Whiplash.
Yeah, hold on.
Train robber.
Hold on. You asked a question. Let me answer it. There's a lot of garbage in the history of wrestling. Let's be honest. But. And I can only talk from my lifetime. AEW promised lots of things that they literally never delivered on. They've never delivered on one fucking thing they promised, ever. They promised me pro wrestling in an era of sports entertainment, and they gave me that fucking shit? It's garbage.
Okay, all right. How about this? What do you think that would have been better? I mean, give me your opinion of what would have been better. Aron Maxson, come on.
Aron
Maxson, tell me what would have been better.
How about you're offering me? You're literally telling me,
free reign.
Yeah, we're not going to give you what Vince McMahon gives you as pro wrestling, and then you give me what Vince McMahon gives me as pro wrestling.
But you're not giving me. You're not giving me an alternative. You're bitching about it. What would you do?
What I would do is what Ring of Honor was attempting to do with the Pure Tournament.
Are you kidding me?
No. Like, restart everything. Like, and I'm not saying you don't take 3 years and do it. Like, wrestling has to die before it can come back. Like, it literally has to go away before it can come back. But AEW...
That I can't agree with.
No?
No, I can agree with.
Oh, you can't? Okay. I just think that, like, AEW didn't... It's so... And I'm not saying they don't have their moments, but... And this is... I mean, I'm fucking drunk as shit, and I'm just rambling, but that promotion fucking sucks. Like, I can't watch one of those and I'm not absconding WWE at all. Raw is fucking terrible. I'm not defending WWE, but what AEW has given us is not an alternative. It's like WWE with ADD. It's awful. It's awful. Like, the shows don't make any sense.
I thought that last AEW show was one of the best shows they've ever done.
Really?
I mean, I don't know what to say. I thought Jungle Boy and
Darby Allin, yes, that was great. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying they don't have their moments. They really do.
I thought Sheeta against Conte was good. I thought they had great matches. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not your just cup of tea. You know what I mean?
Well, but I also think that in the context, like, I'm just putting everything in perspective. Like, match wise, WWE has great matches too. Like, Lashley and McIntyre was good.
No, I've got.
I mean,
how many Snickers bars I've eaten during a commercial break? I mean, I've ordered coffee.
I think that, and you can disagree with me, which you probably will, but I think the athletes and the matches they put on generally are very good. I'm just talking about the booking and the way to get to the matches and everything. It's just like AEW has had. They have literally booked themselves 10 years of history in 2 years.
Oh, clearly.
And it's just, like I said, I mean, Aaron asked what our biggest disappointment was. And it's disappointing to me, not because I'm trying to hate on them, just because I expected, when it first started, I expected so much. And I haven't gotten it. And again, wrestling's like art. It's all subjective. And I didn't want to start a fight, Chad.
Well, you got me all fired up, man. Well, the worst thing is that there's nobody else to go to.
Mm-hmm.
As who are you going to get? Dusty's gone,
right? I mean, I guess we have to resign ourselves to this is what it is now. But I don't know. And that's why, like I said, I wasn't trying to frame my answer to Aaron's question as
you were
completely shitting on AEW.
You were trying to get me all riled up. You were trying to get me all in motion. You were trying to get me all revved up in gear. You were trying to get me to cut a promo on you about how you don't know what's going on with the. What? Never mind.
And then I can use your promo as a hype piece for the We Can't Wrestle podcast. You're on to me. You're on to me, Chad.
I was on my way to cutting the masterpiece, by the way.
Speaking of the masterpiece, if we're going to talk about current product, my favorite current product is, and you guys are going to shit on me, I know, I like the NWA. I like Billy Corgan's NWA. It's an hour show. There's one fucking faction, and they just tell their story, and they get in and they get out, and I fucking enjoy it.
I don't have any problem with that. I'm not paying the $5.
I'll pay the $5
for me.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, go ahead, knock yourself out. But
we'll let Nate pay it. He's not paying me anything. You give Chad $5 a month.
Yeah, he's making all this network money.
Yeah, World Wrestling Network. And you goddamn shit.
You motherfuckers.
Yeah, he's cleaning up over here.
Yeah.
How about you
got 49 fucking listeners.
Aaron.
Pay your bills, Nate.
Aaron, if you would up your game, we'd have 50 listeners.
Hey, you hear that? Spend some money, you cheapster. You know how much money I spend a week on this nonsense?
I do my part.
Barely anything.
This is the best episode of this show ever I've done.
All right, I got 3 more questions.
Oh, shit.
What is the worst gimmick of all time? Yeah, his opinion. Like, worst gimmick a wrestler's ever had all time.
I mean, do you want the obvious answer, or do you want like somebody that thinks it out? I mean, the gobbledygooker clearly is the worst, but like what the worst gimmick is somebody that came in.
Sure,
is that what you mean, Aaron?
What's your after you think of the gobbledygooker? Okay, that's the worst one.
Yeah, clearly
right after that.
The worst one.
Hanging on the line.
Yeah, that's clearly the worst one.
What did they expect to gain from that? Like, this guy's gonna wrestle with these golf ball eyes and shit. I don't. Anyway,
I mean, a big pop. He's bopping out of a fucking egg. I mean, clearly. Where was that pop? Like, it's almost like the Kenny Omega. Where was the kaboom?
Let's say this for the record.
An earth-shattering kaboom.
Yeah. For the record, folks, in 1991, Gene Okerlund just failed Hector Guerrero.
Yeah, Hector Guerrero was not going to be the face of WWE. So what was the question again, Aaron?
Well, after the gobbledygooker, what is the worst gimmick of all time?
Worst gimmick?
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord, man. Nate, do you have can you give me any guidelines? Because I'm thinking like stupid shit like Isaac Yankum, like that shit.
That was the first one that came to my mind, was the wrestling dentist.
Yeah, but is Aaron trying to like trick us and throw us?
No, I'm not trying to trick you guys.
Yankum's up there, especially because it was saddled on a great worker. Like Glenn Jacobs is a good big man worker. Man,
I'm starting to think that the fake Diesel and fake Razor,
that or slapping Tracy Smothers with Freddie Joe Floyd.
Oh, I love that. That was my favorite. Every time I saw Tracy, dude, I swear to God, every time I saw him, I was like, "Yeah, what's up, Freddie?" Like, and he didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck. I thought that eventually he'd be like, "I'm fucking Tracy Smothers, motherfucker." And he would tell me to stop, but he realized he was cashing checks.
That's my money gimmick, brother.
That's a fair point. But that was like when Aaron said worst gimmick, I went to, okay, who's a good worker that got saddled with a shitty gimmick? Like, I'm not going to say the Ding Dongs because those guys were shitty workers anyway. So, hey, here's your shitty gimmick, shitty workers. But when you saddle Tracy Smothers with Freddie Joy Floyd, I don't know. Yeah, Isaac Yankum.
Probably.
Mine's Prince Karras. Mine's Prince Karras.
Personally, I was a big fan of Tony Anthony's.
TL Hopper.
I just couldn't believe. I don't know. The last time I saw Tony, he wasn't even there yet, and I was just like, "Yeah, hey man, I'll see you later or whatever, kind of thing." How it works. And then I saw him on TV, and I went, "Oh, you're a plumber? I didn't know you were a plumber. You never told me you had plumbing experience."
But my least favorite gimmick is Prince Karras.
With the mummy?
Yeah. The Smoky Mountain Prince Karras is fucking terrible.
Yeah, what's he do during the day? What does his day consist of? Somebody gotta rewrap him.
He's just hanging out with Jim Mitchell and just and it's like, and they're like, "Oh, hey, let's introduce Prince Karras to the world, and his first feud is going to be with Tim Horner."
Well, that's going to set the world on fire.
Yeah, it's like that Prince Karras gimmick was just.
Tim Horner said he got to work with Dusty.
I always kind of like that kind of gimmick, but it was never ever presented in the right way to me for where I could actually fall in love with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I liked it, but I could not go, he's not really a mummy.
Did you like Dr. Frank?
Yeah. Well, I did, but I didn't like it in that sense.
Right.
It can always be somebody that's doing it. But, you can't electrocute him and have the guy go like, and like not sell it. No, it's got to be the real guy, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if it's going to be a payoff, like Dr. Frank probably would have been Tommy Gilbert, for lack of a better person kind of thing. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, don't the Prince Chorus thing, whatever. That shit was ridiculous. I mean, it was so ridiculous that even fucking Cornette knew it was ridiculous, and he just didn't know what to do with it because the fucking what's his name? The guy paying the money, whatever his name was.
Rick Rubin.
Yeah, that's right.
He wanted a fucking mummy, and they gave him Daryl Van Horn, and like James Vandenberg did a great job. Like he was fucking fantastic. But fucking Prince Karras, once they put him out there, was just fucking trash.
Aaron, I gotta tell you, I thought they did the whole entire angle awesome. Even the mummy, who looked ridiculously stupid.
Yeah, he had like big black eyes. He looked like the fucking abominable snowman from fucking Rudolph.
The red-nosed reindeer.
Yeah.
No, he looked like Will Hobbs. he was standing up there going, what do you want from me? I thought it was a fantastic visual. I loved the visual. I thought it was great.
Like every time fucking Horror hit him with a chair, like smoke pumped out of him and shit. It's like, what is going on?
What Will Hobbs?
It was trash.
What wrestler's going to come along that has bigger teeth than Will Hobbs? Jesus Christ.
You have more questions, Aaron?
Yeah.
About Will Hobbs' teeth?
And back to Isaac Yankum.
All right, I'm going to ask one more question.
Okay.
And we're going to go worst route. Who do you guys feel is the worst wrestler ever?
Jesus.
Like not like just in the ring, like just watching this, you're just like, this is the worst wrestler I've ever seen.
That's tough, man. I mean, because you have to have some sort of credentials to even get in the ring, right?
Yeah.
So you can't.
That's why I wanted to ask this question, because Chad, you're a worker, so that's why I wanted to hear your.
Well, then maybe it's me.
That's not you.
I'm the worst. I'm sure somebody's going to tell you that I'm the worst. I'm the worst. Yeah, I mean, God damn, the worst. I don't know, Nate. For me, it's going to be somebody that's mid card, because there's no way I can say anybody that was even clearly a main eventer that to say he was the mid card, right?
Yeah, obviously, I'm talking as an observer that's never been in the ring, so it's hard to pull. Man,
well, Aaron's talking about like performer.
Who's that guy? Who's the guy that was in the tag team with Al Green in WCW?
Phil Hickerson?
No, in the fuck. Aron, what was that team that Al Green was in when they
the Master Blasters?
Yeah.
Oh, them people?
Kevin, probably Kevin Nash at that point. Then was it Nash?
Well, Nash wasn't the one that walked off. Nash wasn't the one that walked off. I don't know what that fucking dude's name was.
That was pretty. He was pretty bad.
He said, "I don't know what that guy's name was."
I'll tell you in a second.
Fuck him.
If it was Nash in that tag team, then it's Nash because that tag team was fucking terrible.
You said it wasn't Al Green?
It might have been Al Green. It might have been Nash with Al Green in that team.
I mean,
they were awful.
Not it? Is Al Green not the right answer?
But as far as a worker goes, like I guess to Aaron's question, I would add a level in that, Chad. Like if you're working as a worker, who's the worst? Like who did you walk out of a ring with and go, fuck this guy?
Dude, I mean, you guys won't even understand. I worked a show about 6 years ago or so, whatever, and the guy that I work for him pretty much weekly, and he didn't pay nothing. He paid me it was like $50, but he didn't pay shit, and he had me work against these three guys like in a 3-way match. And I remember, like, during the match, I sent all the three guys to the floor. And I told all of them, I said, stay away from me. Don't get nowhere near me. And I told one guy, I said, you stay with me. And I grabbed him. And I was like, you're going to stay with me because these guys can't work.
They're going to hurt me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said, Aaron or Nate. That's exactly what I said. I said, I'm not going to do anything with these guys because they're going to hurt me. I'm in my 40s. They're in their 20s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to put these spots together, and there's no chance I'm going to do anything with these fucking hillbillies that don't know how to do shit. And so, yeah, I threw the guy in the ring, and I was like, yeah, you stay with me. And I don't have a problem with, like, telling somebody, no, I'm not doing, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, no, I'm not doing that because not only you have to go to work tomorrow, I got to go to work tomorrow.
And be able to walk.
Yeah.
Well, I can't find the Master Blaster that was with Kevin Nash's name. All it says is his fucking name was Iron.
Well, then it's Al Green, and he's my vote as a non-worker. Al Green.
Is that why you got the tattoo, Aaron? You got a tattoo of iron?
Yeah.
It's just a piece of iron tattooed on your arm?
Yeah. Can I tell you guys who I think my least... It's not even Brutus Beefcake. Like, this guy's worse than Brutus Beefcake. Okay? You ready? I think out of all the wrestlers I've ever seen and I've ever watched, I think this guy's fucking garbage, and I've never seen him do anything good, is Van Hammer.
Okay.
He was pretty rotten.
He's garbage. Van Hammer's trash.
Well, I mean, I agree.
Not to leave the show on a down note. It's just Van Hammer sucks.
No, I agree. But he's also a friend of mine.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, it's no big deal. That's why I was trying to look for the words to say. I wasn't going to go like, shut the fuck up, Aaron. Like, what the fuck do you know? You never saw him against me.
He might donate to like Hands Across America and the Variety Club. The Variety Club. Good for him.
But he stinks.
He keeps Sandman with a roof over his head. That's cool. But he's terrible.
He's awful in the ring. Yeah, I know. There's not a whole lot I can do as a friend either. I mean, I tried to pull him aside, and I tried to say, like, hey, man, you might want to do something about your work. And he was like, what do you mean? I said, it's not good, man.
And that was the nice way of saying it.
Yeah, he's like, what do you mean? I work for WCW. I go, that's what they lost $80 million a year.
Yeah. Hey, Van, if you don't want to take my word for it, ask PN News for some pointers. Maybe he can make it better.
Yeah, I had to get his number from Van Hammer to find Axel. Because Axel was late for a show. And I said, hey, Axel. And he's like, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm calling you from Van Hammer's track phone. And I was like, you're supposed to be in Dothan tonight. And Axel was like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I didn't know. And I was like, well, I don't book your shit. So if you ain't going to be there, you ain't going to be there. So I don't know what to tell you, Axel.
And there you have it, everybody. Some fun and debauchery that took place the last time Chad appeared on the We Can't Wrestle podcast. If you want to hear that whole episode, it was about 2.5 hours long. You can go ahead and check it out in the We Can't Wrestle podcast archives as episode 132, and check out some more of the show if you've never listened to it. Also want to take this time to let you all know, if you have not yet, please join us at WrestleNet Radio. It is wrestling talk 24/7, 365. Something nobody else, I think, is doing. There's a million wrestling podcasts out there. This one included. We think this one's the best. But you can also do that, WrestleNet Radio. I don't think anybody else in the podcasting or wrestling broadcasting business is doing that right now. Check it out, WrestleNet Radio. The app is available in the Google Play Store, and because Apple's dragging their feet, you can actually click a link. If you go to the WrestleNet Radio Facebook page, click a link to open that in your Safari browser on your iPhone. Also, don't forget, check out teespring.com and get the Reliving the Extreme t-shirt. And we will be back next week here on Reliving the Extreme with the Outtakes edition. You're not going to want to miss that one. So thank you for joining us again this week, everybody, on Reliving the Extreme. Like I said, in a couple of weeks, we'll get back to our show reviews. And until next week, we'll see you around. Reliving the Extreme is a production of Maxing Out Media, all rights reserved.